Welcome to Minutes with the Mayor with Ashley Conrad and Jason Parrott, or as I should say, welcome to Minutes with the Director of Planning and Development for Quincy.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, brought to you and us by Mercantile Bank. Thank you, Mercantile. Jason, you have been with the City of Quincy. You're not new, right?
5.5 years.
5.5 years, but your new position started January 1, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, of 2025. So what was your title before the Director of Planning and Development for the City of Quincy?
So I started off with the city as Community Development Planner, and then about 3 years in, I was promoted to Assistant Planning Director,
Okay.
and then following the retirement of Chuck Bevelheimer, I was appointed on January 1st as the Director of Planning and Development.
Okay, so big shoes to fill with Chuck's shoes, but of course you're no stranger to development of Quincy, of projects that you have under your belt. Speaking of projects, so let's talk about just some high-level buckets of what the Planning and Development Director does for the City of Quincy.
So we get involved in a lot of different areas. One of the primary ones that you see and read about is we're involved in zoning.
Right.
There are zoning questions and stuff. What properties can be, or what businesses could be in a zoning? What can you do with your property? Those come through our office. If you need special permission to do something like the Plan Commission or the Zoning Board of Appeals, we work with those commissions. I also work with different commissions, Bed on Q, the Riverfront Commission. There's a number of different commissions we work with. We also are involved in economic development, enterprise zone, TIF districts, the downtown rental rehab program, the small rental rehab program. Also under the Department of Planning and Development is the inspection department. They more operate under their own director there.
Independently.
But but it is under our department. But we are also involved in a lot with just answering questions from the community.
Sure.
The phone calls that we get, can I do this at my property? Can I do that? What is going in here? How do I do this? We get a lot of various questions. So we're really an upfront group also for the city.
Yeah, kind of a hub. Yeah, absolutely. So I know we've spoken to you before, and you're hoping to make things easier for the public to bring things to you and to understand zoning, and because it's kind of archaic language. So I know that is a big rock for you right now, but in mentioning all of the things you're involved in, what are some other big rocks that are kind of your focus or your team's focus? Do you have a team that works for you now, right?
We do have a team as of officially yesterday.
Woohoo! Well, congratulations.
One of the interesting things is as soon as Chuck left, there were 2 planners in the office. And on February 4th, that other planner left because of some unforeseen with the budget, everything like that. It was not until we had to wait until the new budget started to be able to replace those positions. So instead of having 3 planners in place for 3 months there, we had me in place.
Right.
And then we were finally able to hire 2 individuals. One may be a familiar name around here. David Adam is going to be community development
We don't
planner.
like him at all since he left. No, I'm kidding.
And then Garrett Drew will be a planning technician. He is a recent graduate of Quincy University.
Well, cool.
Their first day on the job was yesterday, so there's a lot that we are going through, a lot of learning right now. I've told them, look, you are basically being thrown into a department that has a lot going on, and it is not stuff that you can just pick up immediately.
Right.
You have to learn, you have to study it. I have to refer to the zoning book. I've been doing this now for 5 years, and I'm constantly looking at it every day.
Yeah.
So it's a case where they're going to learn, and it's going to be great because once they're up to speed, we can start to look at other issues. One of the issues that I think we'll be looking at, and in part because of the new housing committee that the mayor has formed, a question comes up a lot of times about how single-family residential works, 2-family residential, multifamily residential. Where can certain developments be made? Where can they not be allowed? I think that'll be something that we really take a close look at and say, hey, for one thing, we want to better inform the public. This is, when you hear that a zoning change is going on for an apartment complex, this is why this is happening. These are the areas that they could build in right now. There's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of places in Quincy right now that you could do a multifamily development.
Right, as we saw for the Hope House.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that space is limited. So we also need to be looking at our future long-range planning and being able to say, are there areas maybe within the 1.5 miles, maybe that are near the city that could serve as a residential location? Maybe they're ag right now, but they could look at that. Those are some of the things that we'll need to look at in the future, because obviously with the city limits, there's only so far you can go, and a lot of that property is already zoned for single-family residential use. There's just that limited amount of space. So what the hope is that the Housing Committee will really take a look at issues like these, where these developments can be, how much are they needed here in Quincy, and then be able to move forward with that.
Now, will the Housing Committee fall under you, or will it be Mayor Linda Moore, or will it be?
It is essentially like there are certain boards and commissions that are department staffs.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I am on the commission as an ex officio member. Michael Seaver, the head of inspections, is on as an ex officio member. I believe the staffing, I don't know if that has been determined, if somebody will actually be staffing them from a specific department, or if the commission will just staff itself.
Sure.
The chairs will handle that. But both Michael and I are going to be ex officio members on this commission.
Okay, so that's, for the housing, which of course, we've heard is a big issue. We've seen studies. I know Brittany and I have talked about it in length, but I'll be interested to see what the committees come up with and kind of the strategy to tackle some of those things, right? Both in a way that suits the city financially, taxpayers, and of course our community members, right? So then aside from the Housing Committee, what are some other big rocks that you're doing? So zoning, of course, is that's always been a big rock. I don't want to call it an issue because it's not really an issue. It's just there's opportunity for improvement on all fronts.
Every aspect of our department can always be improved, especially by the use of better technology, by our zoning code. There's all these different aspects that we could improve because everything is always evolving in the code. A community out there is dealing with this issue now. So now other communities can say, oh, hey, how did they look at that? Okay, we need to look at this too. There's new types of businesses that have never been covered and such by zoning codes. How do we address those in the future? Those are some of the things that we want to look at and be able to look at. Another issue that we'll be wanting to look at in the future is really the opportunity to grow businesses and grow just in community. We deal to a degree with economic development, but we also want to make sure that we are working with the local businesses too.
Sure.
What do they have? What do they need? Those are some of the things that our office can work on too. We're not as directly involved in that as, say, a group that just focuses on economic development, but if there's opportunities there, we want to be able to take advantage of those.
Sure. And then, smaller businesses that want to get some attention in those areas, how would they go about doing that?
It depends on what they're looking for. I mean, it might be where they could reach out to the Chamber of Commerce. We have good working relationships with the Chamber of Commerce, GREDF, and the district. And sometimes it's a discussion at one of those levels. Hey, I was talking to this business owner, and they were asking about this. Then we can get involved in that. We can, or we always say, hey, look, if someone's got a question, just reach out to our office. But we have good partnership relationships, so maybe they have a good relationship with the district, with the chamber, with GREDF. They can reach out to them, and then those partners can say, hey, you know what? You need to sit down with the city. You need to talk about what you're wanting to do and see what your options are there. We tell people a lot of times, if you're planning to expand, if you're anything you're looking to do with your project, your property, let us know first, because that way we can help guide you rather than running into issues later on.
So now, would Bet on Q funds be used for some of that if small businesses, depending on the project, of course, but I mean, I know we're gathering monies from some of those small businesses. Do they then fall into the category of businesses that could be helped with some of those funds?
Bet on Q funds are focused solely on tourism type events.
Okay.
So they are funding your events like the concert series, the Quincy Grand Prix. Bet on Q and Leg Up funds are directly more toward bringing events to the community or helping them expand in the community.
But so I talked to Linda Moore the other day, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole, but she said that some of the funds from
food and beverage tax, perhaps.
Yes, that's it. Yes, I'm sorry. So food and bev.
So food and beverage is a fund that could be used for other purposes. In part, they are used as the incentive for Target and for Dunham Sports. There are opportunities that we've entered into with a few other businesses regarding development agreements.
Okay.
So there's opportunities there. Really, a lot of times what it is what are you looking to do? What's the potential return on investment? Making sure that this is a good use of city funding. And then it goes to the city council. So if there's an opportunity for an agreement or something to that degree, we would certainly listen. We would certainly consider that. And those could be those types of dollars, because the idea behind food and beverage dollars is to bring people to Quincy. Bet on Q focuses on events. Target, the deals for Target and Dunham bringing shoppers into the communities. That could be expanded to other options through development agreements. If we work those out, then we present them to the city council, because the city council has the final say in how all of those dollars are spent.
So now the pool championship that's in Quincy right now, is that a recipient of some of these?
They have received Bet on Q funds in the past for that, and many events like that, and that has helped, I think, keep them coming here, because it does help as part of. I'm not sure how the organization goes between the Oakley Lindsay Center and them, what all goes into that agreement to bring them here. But they have received Bet on Q funds in the past for that.
Gotcha. So sorry, I mixed up the food and bev.
No.
Okay, so then
we have a lot of different funds and accounts.
Yeah. So the what is it? The level or leg up, and then that's getting kind of combined with Bet on Q.
So Bet on Q was to help bring new events in or help something expand. The decision was made that you should only qualify for 2 Bet on Q grants, because no one wants these to become the city to become a line item. We want you to gradually go. Leg Up was created to say some of these events still need some help. These are legacy events. These are big draw events. And so as we're looking to change that program, we are going to wind it down and say, okay, it could be 10,000 in year one, then 7,500, 5,000, to eventually say at some point here, there would be no city funding available, but we understand that there could be a need still for it.
Sure, step down program. Okay, so riverfront development, where do we stand there?
The committee is still looking at the opportunity for a splash pad, and so there's a state grant that has funding available for that, so we want to be able to move ahead. The committee is working on that. We are hoping very soon to be able to even see that project go out for bid. It's such a process for all of even just this small project of potential splash pad. It is a long process, but it's one that's just going to have to take time, and it has to be a public-private partnership. The private side needs to really be involved in this, because the money, it couldn't be something that a public government, everything like that could handle. It's just too much. Now, are you also involved in like the sports complex? I have been to the meeting. I'm not, just kind of an ish. That would be probably a good way to describe it. I've been to the first meeting of it. We've had discussions about it. I'm not on the committee, but I've been there just to kind of my own knowledge, making sure in my role of what's going on, what's being discussed. So in your short time, I mean, I think 6-7 months is relatively short amount of time. What do you see as an improvement as far as your position goes, bringing your team involved in the loop? What do you hope to do to kind of improve the position and maybe streamline things, make things more efficient? I think one of the key things is going to be when our new website is updated. And when that is in place, that will have more opportunities for us to be able to posting information online. I think we've kept good communications and such. Like I said, it's really been just me handling on the planning side, but we've tried to make sure that we're able to communicate more. But I think the website is going to be a key aspect of this, because that is where we hope to be able to answer a lot of questions, provide some of that information. But as always, it is just making things as easy. The communication side is important. I want it to be where if somebody calls our office, I can get them an answer that is easy for them to understand. Absolutely. And then on the flip side of that, what would you encourage our community to do to maybe get more involved to help you make things? I think, a lot of times it is just reaching out. It is if you have questions. What can be the problem that we run into is when people don't maybe ask questions as to what's going on, they come to their own assumption, and then they spread that, and then all of a sudden you have a lot of people saying, well, this is how it is. Well, actually it's not. It's actually totally different than what you're thinking, but if people don't ask questions and don't seek information, then our office a lot of times is having to play catch up. Well, actually it's not that, so now not only are we going back, we're having to explain what it is, and then we have to go forward and go from there. So a lot of times it's just being inquisitive, asking questions. Hey, what is going on with this? How does this work? I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of this right. Sure, and I think the website will definitely help with that. Transparency is always key, so people don't create their own narrative, right? I think anything else big we're talking about? I think we've covered, and I can always come on another time to be able to chat about. We can get into more in-depth detail at any point. Yeah, I think covering just the kind of the basics, the big buckets for now. But yeah, we're going to have questions as we keep moving forward. So let's do just that. And thank you so much for coming on. No problem. It's great to be here. Absolutely. Okay, that has been Minutes with the Mayor, or with the Director of Planning and Development for the City of Quincy, Mr. Jason Parrott. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, thank you, Mercantile.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisor shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.